What's up, y'all? It's your boy Benny Dangerous back again with another installment of 1430. Happy New Year to everybody watching this video. I hope you had a happy, healthy, and safe holiday. We are now in 2025. This is my first episode of the year. If you're a returning viewer, make sure, well, first of all, thank you for coming back. Thank you for subscribing. If you are a new viewer, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned to what we got going on here on 1430. Now, I wanted to jump on camera because we are kicking off the year in the way that it should be. We are talking about hip hop, and we are not talking about hip hop in a negative light. We are not talking about hip hop as far as like drama and mess. We are talking about bars. And Joey Badass decided to set the year off right with the song "The Rule Is Back," produced by Conductor Williams. People are calling it a freestyle. It feels a little bit more produced. Like too produced for me to think that it's freestyle. But yeah, the rule is back, and it's got a lot of people talking for a variety of reasons. And I really wanted to talk about this because the discourse, I sat back and I watched, the conversations, and it's a lot more mixed than I thought it would be, honestly. Like I watched a few creators, Read My Soul and Rob Markman, both did videos that dropped like pretty much right after each other, and they were completely on the opposite end of the spectrum as far as their opinions on it. Read My Soul was a little harsher on Joey. Rob Markman was very complimentary. So I just thought I'd give my thoughts, and I'm really surprised that the discourse has been like this because really I thought this is what we wanted as hip hop fans. Like, we wanted competition. Like Kendrick and Drake had their battle, and it was supposed to bring out, real rap. It's supposed to, like, the aftermath. Like, we just, like, want to get culture back to the roots of what it's supposed to be. And I like that Joey decided to not only stake his claim, his position in the game, but also, it wasn't no social media BS. It ain't no personal shit. There's no mudslinging. It's just, you got the crown and I'm coming for it. And I feel like that's the way it's supposed to be. That's what hip hop is supposed to be. That's the healthy competition that is good for the culture. So, I see, some people agreeing with that take. And then I see a lot of people kind of taking shots at Joey Badass. And I feel like that kind of boils down to a few things. One, I feel like Kendrick fans have been on guard. Yeah, you got the Drake fans, you got the Drake bots, you got all these other people like Adam 22, academics, Andrew Schultz, all these other people like taking shots at Kendrick at every point. Whether they're Drake fans and they're mad about the outcome of the beef, maybe they're not like us and they realize that their position and culture might be in jeopardy if a guy like Kendrick is on top, or they just want to be contrarian. Kendrick, everybody loves Kendrick. He's the king of the culture right now. He's the king of hip hop right now after the run that he had in 2024. And, some people just don't like seeing everybody love somebody at once. So they want to be on the opposite. Whichever one these people fall on, it doesn't matter. I feel like people that are Kendrick fans, are hip hop fans, have been on guard and have been basically battling them all over social media, all over online, maybe even in person, since the battle happened. So anytime it feels like somebody's taking a shot at Kendrick, and at the West Coast for that matter, people, feel some type of way. And I don't think that is necessarily what's going on here. Like, this doesn't feel like a diss as more of like, laying down the gauntlet. Like, I feel like this is more of just saying, hey, I want to put on for the West. Like, first of all, the line, like when I first heard the song, I thought it was great. And when I heard the line, I immediately said, oh, that's from Jay-Z's 22 Twos from Reasonable Doubt.
Too much West Coast dick licking.
Even really make it, a Kendrick thing. Like, yeah, the West is on top, but, I know that he's referencing Jay-Z's The Rule Is Back from the Blueprint, with the title. So I'm already thinking like, okay, this is just more, more tributes to Jay. But, more thinking about it and seeing people talk about it, I can see why people saying that it's a diss. But I think it's more so like, I'm I want to put on for New York. Like, I actually feel like he was inspired by what Kendrick was able to do for the West Coast and wanting to do that for New York. For one, I was thinking about it like, you know how crazy it is that people are looking at it like real rap is back, and it's because of the West Coast. And being from New York City, the mecca of hip hop, where it started, to be able to see that hip hop was going on the downturn that it was, and that the West Coast had to bring back real hip hop. That's got to sting a little bit. That's got to sting. And I could see where he might be like, all right, well, it's time for us to like reclaim our spot and put on for New York the way that Kendrick is putting on for the West Coast. I'm not taking that as a diss. You know, who knows? Like, I'm recording this before anybody has said anything. So it could be, we could see how it happens. Kendrick could not talk about it, or, he could say, fuck it, I'm down. And now we got a whole new back and forth going on. But that's just how I'm feeling right now. This is just all speculation on my part. And, that sense of like, hometown pride and regional pride, like I thought about that. Like, that was one of the reasons why I was so upset about Cole dropping out of the battle when he did. I understand why he apologized. I still don't feel like poor Antonio was necessary, because I think after the aftermath of the battle, we got it. We understood why you dropped out. But, that initial, day after the apology and I made my video, the more I think about it, it was because, like, he from where I'm from. And I was ready to root for him. Like, he's from North Carolina. He's from Fayetteville. I'm from Fayetteville. So to think that, wow, we got somebody at that position that could be a part of something so historic, and I could root for him, even though, I picked Kendrick for the battle, and I'm more of a Kendrick fan. Like, I'm still a Cole fan, but it's also like, yo, I'm a root for you because you from where I'm from, and I want to see you show what we got going on here. Like, show and prove what North Carolina and Fayetteville and the South really could do. Like, for a long time, we're known as, the trap style, the party sound, but real lyricism, like, has never really been associated with the South. Even though we got Andre 3000, we got Scarface, we got T.I., we got, J. Cole, we got Little Brother. We got a few people from the South. I mean, hell, the Clips and, everybody out of Virginia. We have people here that rap. A lot of people aren't associated with lyricism like that. I mean, the South isn't really associated with lyricism like that. And I wanted, to be able to say, hey, one of our own, Fayetteville, North Carolina's own, was able to, stand toe-to-toe with two of the best of their generation. And even if he lost, he could have held his own. And I could see where Joey's like, yo, I gotta bring that kind of pride. Like, I gotta put myself out there so I can show what New York could do. Because I was trying to think about it. Like, is there really anybody out of New York City that's really got momentum like that? And not even just momentum, but just like people look at them as like a lyricist like that. Like, you have the underground, of course, but I mean, as far as like in that mainstream arena, I can't think of anybody. The only person I could, think of, I mean, there's ASAP Rocky, but like Joey Badass hasn't really been that focused on music and like that, and then there's Dave East, and I can't really think of anybody else. I mean, we got Griselda. I don't know if that counts because they're from Buffalo. So I don't know. I mean, they count for New York State, but I don't really see them as New York City artists. If you're from New York, let me know in the comments. But for the most part, I only see people like Cash Cobain, Ice Spice. You wouldn't exactly call them lyricists. So, who better than Joey to put on? Speaking of ASAP and not really being focused on music, that was one of the critiques that I saw a lot when people were talking about it. And actually on the Read My Soul video, and when he said it, it sounded crazy, but it made more sense the more you think about it. Like, Joey Badass has really only put out 3 studio albums since his breakout mixtape in 2012. He had a few other mixtapes, Before the Money. He got a couple EPs, But like, yeah, 3 studio albums in 12, almost 13 years at this point seems crazy to me. But he's been focused on acting. He's been doing all this other stuff, and I think that's why like the response to a certain degree, and I can understand that why the response was a little negative with him. Even if like I said, I don't think it's a diss, but people kind of like you trying to make this claim, you make this state like you ain't really been around, and I can see that, especially when his output, even with the limited amount of music he's put out, has been a little hit or miss at times. Like I thought his 2000 album was really good. Like I thought, and All American Badass is dope. The second album I don't really remember like that, and I don't hear a lot of people talk about it at all. And I remember it being a little iffy. I just remember it being like, this isn't what I want from Joey. And he's in this weird spot. I've always said this about Joey that kind of like handicapped him, was that he was the artist that was trying to be a traditionalist during the time of this innovation in hip hop. Like when he came out, a lot of his peers, the guys that were coming out around the same time, were all like experimenting with new sounds. They were coming from different places, telling different kind of stories. Everybody, from Drake to Kendrick to, Wale to Big Sean, like everybody was doing their own thing, trying to do something very unique to them, trying to figure out what the new wave was. And Joey Badass was trying to keep it as traditional 90s boom bap hip hop as possible. And, it was dope. I mean, I'm a fan of it. Like I still bump 1999 like it came out yesterday. But it did kind of make him sound dated. It almost made it sound like a gimmick. And when he tried to stray away from it, it kind of alienated his core fans that did like it. And I always said that was like one of the things, if I had to think of like what was the reason why Joey Badass didn't connect the way that I felt like he should have with his talent and his ability, it was because he tried to be a traditionalist, and it kind of pigeonholed him a little bit. Even Read My Soul, he was talking, he's from New York, and he was talking about, he wants New York to kind of get away from the boom bap sound, the Conductor Williams, Alchemist, type beat sound, and kind of evolve and innovate, like, he even said like New York drill is just copying Chicago drill at this point. And they don't have their own identity, and I could see that. I personally like it, but maybe for the growth and for New York to come back, I could see where maybe a change would be needed, especially because now boom bap is just associated with the underground. And if we're talking about trying to get like that mainstream success, like if you're trying to be in that arena, you might need to do something a little different than what has been going on. But I can't wait to see what Joey does next. This can't be a thing of like, oh, we're just gonna like drop this freestyle and go away, or I'm gonna go back to acting or something like that. Like, you're making this claim, you got the people talking, you got people talking about Joey Badass more than they have when it comes to music in a long time. And I feel like now is the time to strike while the iron's hot. Like I said, I don't know if Kendrick would respond. I don't know if he's wrapped up with the Super Bowl. The Grammys are coming up, and I know he's definitely gonna sweep. If he doesn't sweep every category, he's definitely taking home a few awards that night. So, and he's about to go on the stadium tour. So who knows? Like, on one hand, yeah, he might be wrapped up. It might not even touch his radar, but I feel like Kendrick is too tapped in. And especially with him making the claims and staking his claim the way he has, I feel like, why not? Like, this is the competition, like I said, we've been asking for. It's not on Instagram. It's not on X or Twitter or whatever. It's not in an interview or podcast. It is in the booth. And for nothing else, I appreciate Joey Badass doing this. And I hope that we get more of this. Like, this is like when the Control verse dropped in 2013 and everybody had a response. Whether they were responding to Kendrick saying that he was the king of New York, or, you know, for all the rappers in his generation that he was calling out and saying that we need to get back, you know, get back to the booth, get back to, you know, competition. I love y'all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas. Make sure your core fans ain't never heard of you niggas. That's the kind of energy that we need in hip hop. Like, hip hop was on death's door on the 50th anniversary in 2023. It was on death's door. 2024, the battle and everything that came afterwards brought it back, and we need to keep that momentum going. And I appreciate Joey Badass for getting in the booth and continuing that. So, yo, let me know what you think, though. Do you feel like Joey has any claim to, you know, go after the crown? Do you think this is healthy for hip hop? Who else do you want to see jump in the ring, jump in the booth, and make their stake at the crown? Like, who do you think should be the next MC to pop up? But that's my time. It's your boy Vinny Dangerous. This is 1430 Live. I got more videos in the works. I got a few that I really want to take my time on, really get it right. So, you know, just stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and you don't want to miss those. But until next time, it's been your boy Vinny Dangerous again. This is 1430. Much love.